Protect Kids California, a group of concerned California parents, has launched a ballot initiative for common sense policies that promote children's well-being. Now, these include school transparency to notify parents if a student wants to socially transition, protecting women's sports in private spaces, and protecting children from gender procedures, including sterilization and mutilization. These fell under the umbrella of a ballot initiative called the Protect Kids California Act. But California Attorney General Rob Bonta renamed this initiative, quote, Restrict Rights of Transgender Youth, end quote. And yesterday, a California state judge sided with the Attorney General and his description of the initiative, which will now appear on the ballot. Joining me now to discuss this is Jonathan Zachreson, a member of the executive team at Protect Kids California and a member of the Roseville City School Board. Jonathan, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you think the judge got it wrong. Tell us why.
Yeah, the judge got it wrong completely. That we had submitted evidence that the judge denied. The Attorney General had submitted evidence that supported our case that the judge denied, that showed that the word restricts is biased and that a single word can have and limit the outcome of a particular ballot measure if it's going to succeed or not. On top of that, he included language in the summary that just makes up information about our measure, which said that our measure did not have any exception for student safety, when in fact that does exist in the law, and we had no changes to that. So we are disappointed in the outcome and look forward to options of how we can address this in the future.
Now, to make sure people understand exactly what happened here, when you file a ballot initiative, you file it with the state, and as a result of that, you also have to, when you file it with the state, one of the things that they evaluate is the title of the ballot measure itself. And of course, you can suggest a ballot title, but ultimately, the Attorney General in this case suggested a ballot title as well. How unusual is it for the Attorney General to change the ballot title this severely on an initiative?
Well, it's pretty bad. This, is pretty brazen. I mean, the Attorney General, other Attorney Generals in the past have done this, and it ultimately led to the outcome. But the fact that there is not just bias, but the misinformation and not just misleading, but actually false information in the title and summary is, I think, unprecedented, which is why we felt that we have a good case, and we look forward to presenting that case further along in the courts.
Well, and you use the word bias now a couple times, and the reason why that's important is because I presume the state law in California, and I have not read it, I've read it in other states in relevant cases, but the state law presumably in California says that the ballot title must be unbiased so that the voters can get an objective description of what the ballot title would do. Is that correct? Which is why you think it's important to point out the fact that the language the Attorney General chose is not neutral and is in fact biased against the measure itself.
That is correct. There's language in the statute essentially says that it outlays how the title and summary should be derived from the Attorney General, and it includes it has to be factual. It has to cover the chief points of the initiative. And not be prejudicial, which all three of those things that the Attorney General did with our title and summary.
Yeah. So is there a right of appeal that you still have, or are you stuck with this ballot title?
We are looking to appeal. We do have that option. But, when we look at the whole process, our initial deadline is May 28th. So one of our remedies we were asking for was an extension along with a title and summary change. And so we continue that process, but ultimately the Attorney General is doing everything that he can to combat us. And just to add to that, part of what adding to this case is the Attorney General is a party to lawsuits fighting various aspects of our measure in court against school districts. He's being sued by by teachers actually for this policy. So he can't be impartial when he's a party to all these different lawsuits.
And presumably he's not claiming to be impartial. These are clearly not the behaviors or decisions of people who have any pretense of partiality. But Why is it that you think, and this is just kind of a broader question about this subject, that when you promote something to allow, for example, parents to be informed and then also protect kids from irreversible harm they might do to themselves just in ignorance, why is that always framed by the left as a restriction of transgender youth, their rights of transgender youth as they frame it in this case?
Well, I think as many of your listeners know, and the Attorney General knows, and we know, that language can influence people's decisions. And so you have to take something that's negative and say it in a positive light, or take something that's positive and say it in a negative light if that's your position, right? You're trying to defend your position. So that's what the Attorney General is doing here. And this is why, to answer your question, why the left uses language to support their cause, even if that's not factually happening for the issue.
We only have about 30 seconds left for this, but assuming the voters get a fair and accurate description of what this ballot measure is, what is the position of the public on this matter?
Yeah, so most people support this, including Democrats. If you go to our website, protectkidsca.com, you can see some polling. There's been subsequent polling, and all of it supports that. Even in California, the average voter, including Democrats, would support this measure. And so really it's just a fringe few and happen to have control of our legislature that is driving these policies in California. But the California voters can and I do expect will change our policies if we ever can get to that.
Where can voters in California connect with your effort?
Yeah, go to protectkidsca.com. You can join our social media and sign up and learn more about our measures.
Jonathan Zachreson, thank you for your time.
Thank you.